Good morning.
High five.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Let's introduce that. I should have definitely high-fived myself in the mirror this morning. It probably would have helped me light a fire under my ass.
Yeah, get here a little sooner. That's okay. That's okay. We're here. We made it.
Yeah.
And welcome to
Socially
Socially Unsocial. I'm Patty,
And I'm Danielle.
and we're your hosts.
You know the jam. You know the rules.
So happy to be here.
So, guys, it has been amazing this week with the weather.
Yeah, yes, it's been very nice. I don't mind the snow though.
But the warm, it's been like so nice to go outside and feel the sun on your face and like walk outside. Have you not been doing that?
I guess not. I've been in survival mode with Mike out of town.
No, it's telling everyone who's been in a funk, like, it's go walk your dog, go outside, get the fresh air. Like, it feels so great.
Absolutely. Well, when was it? Just before this little warm patch hit, I was still outside with my kids. I think it was just last week.
When it was negative 30?
No, not when it was negative. After the negative 30.
Okay.
When it was like semi good and the snow was still on the ground and we went sledding and the kids love it. And I mean, have you been sledding? Did you sled this season?
No, I did not.
You know what? That is like the one good thing about the snow is when you get that adrenaline rush and then you can just think about it. It's like going on a jet ski in the summer. You don't think you need it. You don't think you need it. And then when you're on it, you're exhilarated.
Right, but I feel like snow, like sledding, you need like a really awesome hill. I feel like you can't half-ass it. You just can't find a little like, boop, and just do it. Like, it'd be like, this is lame.
I mean, if it's, at least like 10 seconds long, I guess.
Right. So are you going to big hills? Or are you you're sledding in your backyard?
My backyard does not have a hill.
Okay.
But we go to my mom's house has a good hill.
Okay.
It's the hill I grew up sledding on.
Well, if we don't get any more snow, then over the summer I'll come to your mom's house and I'll just roll myself down the hill. Same thing, right?
It also is exhilarating.
Or we'll put a slip and slide down it. That'll be fun. Into a pool.
My brothers did that one year and the grass was messed up for so long. And I was like, if I had done this, I wouldn't hear the end of it literally my entire life. But the boys do it. And the boys and their cool friends ruin the grass in the backyard. And it's like, meh, boys will be boys.
Grass grows back.
Not soon enough.
No?
I mean, it's back now, like decades later.
Well,
I mean, some people are out there literally hosing their grass. Like my neighbors.
Hosing?
Yeah, they like take a water hose to it.
It's called watering. Watering. They're watering their grass.
A hose and different area codes.
All right. Well, this episode's all about introducing words that
aren't actually a thing. But
okay, go hose your plants.
Yeah. I can't even remember. I can't keep a plant alive to save my life, if I'm being honest.
No, I try.
Yeah, I feel like you're good at it because you have like a spreadsheet of when to do it.
No, I bought myself flowers once, not too long ago, because I was at Trader Joe's and they looked so pretty. And then I brought them to the house and I was like, why do I do this? I don't like the smell of flowers. It reminds me of death. So I'm all about the fake stuff.
I mean, I think that some flowers smell really nice, though.
Maybe I've just been to one too many funerals where I don't care how good of smell, it's still a flower and they always have that smell.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like I could do.
You know what? You know why? Because we talked about this last episode. Because your sense of smell is your superpower. Normal people don't have that. So like we smell it, but it's not overwhelming. So yes, I'm sure that when you sniff, it's a
when lot. I smell, not sniff.
Yeah, like your sense of scent. So I wonder, are you guys a Danielle where you think every time that you smell flowers, it brings you right back to the funeral home? Or is it just perfect enough and you just want flowers everywhere?
But they say out of our 5 senses, I think smell is
the most memory triggering.
Thank you. Yes.
I knew exactly where you were going.
Because clearly my memory isn't working at all today. at all. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm playing with my mic because I'm not really feeling. Oh, that sounds so much better.
Wait, now you're me, where you have to like literally
sounds so much better. Oh, there's something going on. Okay. Anyways.
Oh, I found chapstick in my chair.
Oh, most people have car chapstick, purse chapstick, coat chapstick. You have chair chapstick?
I guess so. It was in the cushion. I'm like, what's that back there? Nice. Score.
Remove your chapstick from your nightstand and just hide it in your cushion of your chair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Double bonus. You get to put chapstick on your lips and you're super surprised and excited when you find it.
Yeah. Little life hack. Here's the thing. If you have a bad memory, just go around your house doing little treats for yourself and all your favorite places to sit.
Well, I know your memory is terrible, but have you ever been like, okay, I'm going to put something here because I know I'm going to remember. Like, I'm going to remember where it's at.
Yeah.
And then you go to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's still things I'm looking for.
Oh my god!
And I have a good memory.
You haven't made a sheets for it.
No.
Shocking.
I should do that too.
Kids' birthday gifts and any sort of gifts, when I have to like hide them, or even like from my husband, I don't have a designated spot because I'm like, I'm going to keep the whole family guessing. No one's going to find my gifts until I'm ready to gift it to them. And then also I'm like, end up surprising myself. I'm never going to find that gift that I thought I would find. Like, that's how good I am at hiding.
Do they look for their gifts?
Well, I mean, what if they just like randomly went in this closet? Like, this closet used to be my big space to be like, all right, up on the top shelf behind one box will be the box with their gift in it. What if they go in there because it's like used more frequently now?
Well, that would be stupid on your behalf.
Well, that's why I keep switching it. We don't have a huge house. Every inch of this house is used.
Yeah.
Except for the basement is just like a mess. So I could just like throw
you
it down.
You need to like get a mysterious bookshelf or like cut a hole in the ground.
Yeah, that's the dream. But then my 4-year-old, would lock himself in there and I literally wouldn't be able to find him. So
right. Yeah, no, let's not do that. He's been giving us enough heart attacks lately.
You guys, last week, was it last week?
The last 2 weeks, I think it's been, or
seriously.
Something.
I'm trying to like block it out, and I'm trying to literally block it out of his mind too. I'm like, nobody bring it up because he's forgotten. So here's what he's doing. Our basement, we have a staircase and there's a banister around it and it's open. Just straight down. So he goes on the wrong side of the banister, scales the inside like it's some sort of like ninja warrior course, and he is signed up ready to be the next great American ninja warrior. And then he found one where the poles are too far apart so he can slip through them just in that one side and to the corner. And all I can think is the people that glued the banisters on, like, I lived here when we changed out the banisters. I know who glued them. I'm like, dude, you don't want to trust them with your life. No, I don't trust them.
Shoddy contractors.
I mean, they weren't like, I don't know. I wouldn't hold on to that thing. And then when Danielle and I were trying to get him off, and we were being very stern. We were stern, and he didn't give a shit. And then he like slipped because he's like trying to get away from us. So now he's just dangling. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, God bless you parents out there, because I had a close call just envisioning just watching his body lay on the floor below because he was just being so stubborn. He just think he couldn't fall.
Yeah, I'm going to find him on the roof in a month. Pray for me this summer.
Luckily, you're in a ranch and not a 2-story with his bedroom that he would crawl out the window, because I used to do that. Crawl out the window and just because you could, just to see if you can sit on the roof and then crawl back in. No, you never did that?
Oh my God, no. I did that like at a friend's house once, but my window didn't have a roof outside of it. It was, but we did it at my friend's house like once. That's scary. Because you never know if a squirrel's going to attack you and then you're going to fall off. Anything could happen.
I know, but when you're a kid, you don't think about those things. You're just thinking about the fun, or you're thinking about pissing off your parents.
Oof, God.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
But you can't tell your kids and warn them, because if you say, hey, just here's what could happen if you go out and sit on a roof.
Right, no.
And then you tell them all the things, they're going to want to do it more. And I'm just hoping that they don't think of those things. Here's what, if we just keep them so busy in their sports, they'll never think. They'll never have time to think to do these stupid things.
But then they could be doing other stupid things. Regardless, you're going to have kids that do stupid things.
Hopefully not as stupid as I did. I may not have sat on a roof, but...
That's the American dream. That's the goal.
Is what? To not to have kids that don't do stupid things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is anyone out there, can they say they have a daughter or son who's now 30, 40 years old and they've never done anything stupid? If they say they've never done anything stupid, those parents are delusional.
Well, I think also those parents might just not know it yet. Like the kids got away with whatever. Haven't you told your parents things as an adult and they're like, what?
I mean, some things, but I think they knew
A
about
lot
a
of
lot of
things they
things. What about parent intuition?
listen, Joseph's scaling banisters. Parent intuition for me has not kicked in yet.
You don't get the feeling like he's.
No. If it's silent in the house,
Well,
I
that's what I
guess
was
you're
gonna
right. You're
say.
like,
Yeah,
oh.
it's too quiet. He's doing something.
Oh, man.
We're gonna jump right into highs and lows.
Love it.
Do you have your high? Do you have your low?
I do have a good high. I've had a really good week. My high is I went out like 2 nights in a row for dinner. And it started with our event. And then I went out the next night and it was so nice. My high really is trying to find a balance, which is impossible, but finding a balance between being a friend, being a daughter, being a sister, being a mom, a wife. I don't have a sheets, but if I did, I would have it on there like where, you have to spend time with your significant other. You have to spend time with your family that you care about. Your kids, the more you have to try to get one-on-one time with them, it's really difficult to manage all of that. And then you have friends that you never see or friends that you see often. It's just, yeah, it's really hard. And then we have these jobs that we're trying to, navigate and commit our time to. It's just really interesting to try to balance. It's a juggling act that everybody, I'm sure just struggles with.
Yeah, I was listening to Mel Robbins
Love
and
her.
she was talking about, how we dismiss things so quickly sometimes. So it's like, we don't know if every day you're showing up in my life and you're giving me 30% of you, but I'm giving you 100% of me. But you might be giving me all you can. And just because it's 30%, I'm not acknowledging that and feeling like I'm giving you more. But really, because you have to split yourself 6 ways and I only have to split myself 2 ways. So we need to take that into consideration more often with our friends and family and loved ones. When people are giving you something, at least they are giving you something versus not giving you anything at all.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I used to think about that when I first became a mom. And my mom would always tell me how she had lost a bunch of friends and that there was moments where she would be like, well, this is so crazy. I'm not in so-and-so's wedding. And she was maybe a bridesmaid in hers or something like that. And so I grew up, and I had heard that story. And then, it happens to me. And then I am the one with kids and I'm the one that gets busy. And I look around and maybe my single friends or even just friends that are moms that just happen to manage it all a little better than me or don't have quite maybe as much on their plate at the time or whatever it is. And they're making time for their friends. And then, yeah, I look at that and I think, how are they managing to balance it all? And of course, the comparison game, I always think everybody else is doing it way better than I am or than I could. But the truth is, when you have a lot on your plate and you have a lot to take care of, you tend to give just that little bit to everybody. And then it's just not enough for some people. And it's going to be a lot less than, people in different times of their lives too. Learning how to be okay with that is key. But also, like, from my standpoint, learning how to be okay with not always having 100% to give to everybody. And also, like, acknowledging that. Like we've talked before, when people haven't heard from me or whatever, instead of just bouncing back in as if nothing happened, to just kind of say, I've been super MIA. And this month of my life, this season of life has been a little bit more trying and taxing, but I'm thankful that you're sticking by me or sticking through it, to acknowledge it as opposed to just trying to sweep it under the rug and get back to your relationships and friendships as if nothing happened, because the people that were missing you, that were getting only 30% of your attention, they're going to sit there and be like,
Well, it just can be shady when you don't acknowledge something. So it's
yeah,
like, why didn't they bring it up?
totally.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's just because the person doesn't want to they don't like confrontation.
100%. They're like, oh, if I don't bring it up, it didn't happen. But it's like, no, guys, it happened. You know it, I know it. Let's just put it out there so that we can acknowledge it. So next time we do a little bit better.
Right. I think it goes both ways too, because I think people think when you don't have kids, the person out there is just like living their best life and just doing whatever they want. But I think that it kicks in too when you have all these friends that have kids. And the thing that makes sense is you're making friends with your kids' friends' parents. And now you have a whole nother group. It's convenient because now you don't need a sitter. Now you can do all these things with your kids. So then the single ones without either the single ones or the married ones without kids are thinking like, wow, I lost my friend because I don't have kids. It's like going both ways. Like you have to acknowledge that maybe the mother you're friends with wants some time away from her kids. So you need to ask. And maybe she's not going to be forthcoming and saying, hey, let's go out this weekend. Maybe you need to do that and put it in her head and be like, okay, I want to make you a priority. And the same thing, I think a lot of people think, I have some friends that will include me and Jay and, their kids' things and, invite us and give us the option to say yes or no.
Right.
And then I have other friends that just don't even invite us because they don't think we'd want to be a part of it or, want to go. Either way, I'm grateful and thankful for that. But it kind of goes both ways.
Totally. Well, I think too, extending the invite to people that you care about is always nice. But yeah, man, once you have kids, I'm so grateful because somehow both my older boys, and like fingers crossed for Joseph, but both my older boys, they have fallen into becoming friends with kids that have really awesome parents. Chill, just people that we love being around. We love going on trips with them. We love sitting on the sidelines at games with them. We lucked out because it's hard to find your people, especially as an adult. Now our entire lives revolve around these kids' sports. So whether you have girls and they're dancing and they have the cheer competitions, or maybe they're in, flag football too, because there's a girls league by us now, like so cool. But yeah, whatever the sports are, man, you're there like all weekend. So it's important to have friends, but also it's really nice as a mom with kids. I guess I have to remember too that like sometimes it's nice, even if people don't have kids, it's nice to get the invite. Like, hey, I'm going to be spending my entire weekend at the football field, but it's kind of fun and it's gorgeous weather out. Come join me. Bree came to a few games with my kids, soccer and flag football. And it's so funny because I have to like pre-warn her, like, you know me, but you don't know me as a mom on the sideline. So like if I can't speak for a minute because I'm so nervous watching them, or if I cheer obnoxiously, but she's great. She just joins in.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. I feel like that's rare to find a friend, that can go and be invested in your kids. That's like the, trifecta, I guess, is when it's not just like you and her, but then say your partners also get along. And then on top of that, your kids actually like them.
Right.
Remember last week or a couple weeks ago when you were leaving the house and Joseph went flying?
I know, that should have been my high that week too. And I totally forgot because I told anybody who would listen that story.
He literally went sprinting, which he does. If he knows that like grandma's leaving or dad's leaving, and then now Danielle who comes over whenever she's leaving, like, so he sprints through the house because he wants to say goodbye. That's it. He just wants to say bye. Well, this time he swings the door open and shouts across the back patio, I love you, Danielle. I felt like he was Buddy the Elf. I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
And I was like, oh my God, my heart melted because he's so intense.
Yeah.
And it's usually just like, not very loving. He's just very intense with me. So to get that like loving feeling from him was just, it was amazing.
By intense, she means freaking bossy AF. But usually he's just bossing me around. To hear him with a little kindness in there was so rare.
Yeah. That leads me to like my high, because I'm like, people that don't have kids, or I get the question all the time, like, do you regret not having kids? Do you think you're going to regret not having kids? And kind of a twofold. So the other day I get, an Instagram reel sent to me from Anna, and it's about a video that says like, when the kids ask like, why do we have to call her auntie? She's not your sister. And it's like, just because she's not my sister doesn't mean she can't be your auntie. She shows up and, all the things.
That's so sweet.
And then I'm like, okay, yeah, because I saw another video where someone kind of ridiculed a girl when she said, oh, I have to go hang out with my nieces and nephews. And she's like, you don't have any siblings. Why are you saying that? And she talked about how her best friend's kids are her nieces and nephews. And the girl was like, no, that doesn't make sense. And she's like, it doesn't matter, like blood or not. If you show up for somebody and they want to treat you like you're part of the family, then so be it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I enjoy being an auntie. And I said, you'll never know the love of an auntie if you're also a mother, because it's just different, because you're able to give 110% of yourself instead of
Totally.
30% of yourself.
Yeah.
So yesterday I was driving to my appointments and I get a call from one of my youngest nephews. He's 5. And he's like, hi. He's like, I haven't called you in a long time, so I decided I wanted to call you and say hello. And I was like, oh, and for kids that are so ADHD, bopping around, playing, doing other things,
they have a million things to destroy and play with, and
right, distract
think
them.
about.
So the fact that 5:15 he's thinking of me, and he just was like, oh, I haven't talked to her in a while, I haven't called her. Like, I'm like, oh, this is so great. Thank you for thinking of me.
That is really cool and so sweet. And I don't know which one you're talking about.
Oh, Beckham. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, and also like props to parents that allow their kids to stay connected in those ways, because I saw a reel on Instagram and it said, it makes me it was an aunt. And she goes, it makes me so sad that I have to wait 16 years until I can connect with my niece and nephew without their parents, being present. So that's really cool. My kids, they can text with people, and I think it's so cute when they're texting with grandmas or their aunts. And sometimes I'll see it. I mean, they're not in an age where they're texting other people, so I don't go through their little iMessage chats or whatever it is. But that's really sweet to have those lines of communication open, and with or without like actually being an aunt, it's like that is a coveted role in anybody's life. And if you choose that, and it wasn't just like, oh, okay, I'm just that person's aunt, because there's a lot of aunts and uncles that, like, I'm closer to some of my nieces and nephews than others. I mean, I hope that I can invest more time into them. Like every year I think to myself, oh my gosh, I need to call more. I need to do this more. I need to see them one-on-one, because it's like always a group setting. It's so hard.
Yeah, I'm very thankful. I get my alone time with them.
Yeah, you make a really good point of doing that.
Again, if I tell them all the time, if I had kids of my own, I probably wouldn't be this great of an auntie or see you as much, because I'd have to split my time.
No, it's really hard. My 4th niece and nephew, so like I had 2 nephews and 2 nieces before I had my son, or at the same time, because my son is the same age as my youngest niece in that side. And it was like, I was able to do so much. Like I remembered their birthdays a lot more. I remembered to reach out more. I mean, I got to babysit them. Now I'm not babysitting my brothers and sisters' kids. I don't have the time.
Right.
I need babysitters for my own kids, like it's hard. It's really hard.
It is. But again, it's balance. And I feel like people get hard on themselves if they can't find the balance. Mm-hmm. Some weeks you're not going to find the balance. I think I sent it to you on Instagram. It was like a line of cups, and cups were full. And then the second row of cups was just, every cup had different levels of water. And they were saying that the first line of cups is not consistency. The second line of cups is consistency. So as long as you're doing something constantly every day, you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be full effort, 100%. Because who has that to give? And don't be upset if you don't have that, because that's normal.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
What was your low?
What did I say my low was? I think I said this. Oh, what was my low? Where's the sheets?
Was it with navigating single parenthood?
Yeah,
was there a confrontation this week?
Oh my gosh, yes, you guys. I have been telling anybody that'll listen.
So now you guys are pigeonholed because you're stuck in your car and you're listening to us, and now you have to listen.
Yeah, so then maybe you've heard this already if we've talked. No, I was in a situation where I got feedback, and it was a lot of good feedback, and then a lot of maybe feedback that I don't agree about. It was about work. And I used to be in the position where I would evaluate people and I was their mentor trainer. So you can always tell when somebody's listening, when they've checked out, when you're giving somebody feedback. And when people, it's like constructive criticism and some people cannot take it. So I try to be able to be the type that can take it. So me, like I'm sitting there getting this feedback that I do not agree with. Like,
wait, really quick question.
Yeah.
The person who's giving you the feedback, do you respect them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I feel like that goes a long way too. So if someone, you can have a boss that you don't like and don't respect, and if they're giving you feedback, you're like, F off, right?
You're not listening to that whatsoever because you send it to me and we talked about it, but don't take criticism from somebody that you wouldn't go to for advice.
Mhm.
So no, this is somebody that I love, look up to. She's great. But in a creative job situation, so I teach fitness and yes, there's a lot by the book, by the formats, whatever, but then it's a lot of an experience, a personality type, personal choices that we get to make. And it's a very big creative outlet. And I'm a super creative person. So I think I'm thriving in this role as a fitness instructor because of the creative aspect. So there's, 15,000 different ways to do every class. So it was like an agree to disagree moment. I can't stop thinking about it. I cannot stop thinking about it. I want to ask all my friends. I want to be like, here's the song. Show me how you would do this song.
So she pulled out a song specifically and how you did it wrong almost?
Yes.
I feel like that's telling someone, like, if your kid starts dancing to a song, be like, you're not dancing on the beat. Like, you're not doing it. This is how they do it in the music video. I feel like that's kind of like off color.
I know. It's really, well, I think too, it's really hard to be in a leadership role in such a creative line of work because there's standards and then there's her standards and there's my standards. And when they don't totally mesh, it's very confusing. So when she says, do it this way, because everyone's going to feel more successful.
Okay. For the people out there that's never taken a cycle class,
or any
fitness class, but I feel like cycle's a little bit different because
it's so freaking fun.
Because you can just ride the bike the whole entire time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can add the weights, or you can add the arm pump. So there's a lot of things. You can get off the bike and do some things. So was that her thing? Like you should have incorporated more moves with the song to intensify the workout?
No, it was specifically, here's your moves, and this is when I want you to hit them versus what I did. And it was tweaking the move itself. Like instead of being like, oh, put your arm down at this point, put your arm up at this point. And I just didn't agree because it doesn't feel good for me to do it up and I wanted it down. Something so simple, but I can't stop thinking about it.
Because I've taken your classes before and sometimes you're doing things I'm like, I probably look like I'm having a stroke, wobbling and freaking out everywhere because I can't move like that. So I just do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, I love that for you because it's like, just listen to your body. Right. And I always say everything is optional. You do you, blah, blah, blah. Like I speak to that all the time. So yeah. And then I wonder, I'm super confident in where I'm at in my ability to lead a room and to cue the right moves that make sense and all of that. But, I think about the people that maybe aren't as secure as I am yet. And then I think back, like it made me, I guess what it really made me do, I haven't gotten feedback in so long. So while some of it was great and I'm going to hold on to it, and then some of it just kind of was like, man, I don't really like that. But it kind of threw me back to when I started. And when people would say things to me and it was kind of like, I had to listen because I didn't know any better. And, like when you're in a leadership role, the power that you have, like you just have such a responsibility to make sure that you're molding people and really pulling out the best instead of trying to stifle them, instead of trying to put them in a box. Be mindful of what we're saying to other people because I guess just have had a week of people I feel like just kind of tearing me down lately. Little things, big things. And so that is definitely my low.
How did you respond to it? Because I feel like when you're getting constructive criticism, a lot of it is not just the criticism itself, but how you react and respond.
How do you think I reacted?
You probably just smiled and laughed and was just like, okay, I understand and I hear you. I don't think you brought up like, this is me and this is how I'm going to do it.
Ding, ding, ding. I was like, originally I was like, okay, I have two choices here. I can either defend myself and say, actually, that's not the move I was going for. I wanted it to be down, whatever. Or I could just sit there and be like, totally, I get it. I totally get it. Because I do get it. There's two ways to do it. There's my way and there's her way. She thinks that her way is right and is going to make the room feel better and give goosebumps and all the things. I thought that my way was right. And if you crunch down in this certain way and you use your, different muscles and on this beat, it's going to be successful. So my best friend agreed with me. So
Okay.
like, that's all I need. All you need is one person on your side and you're fine. You're fine. You
Yeah.
can handle anything. So to her face, I was just like, thanks so much. Because of course, for her to take time to give me feedback, she wasn't trying to tear me down. When I say that in the past couple of weeks, people have just tried to tear me down, she wasn't trying to, but innately she did.
Right. But again, I feel like if you're wanting to feel a little bit better about yourself, to me, if that's the worst thing she said to you, which is constructive criticism, that's super objective, take it and run.
Yes. No, you're right. You're right. She didn't tear me down too. Like, no, it could have gotten a lot worse.
Yeah, because I'm sure she probably has these conversations with people like, dude, you need more energy. Your voice is annoying, so probably talk less. Like, I'm sure.
I have a podcast, so that'd be horrible to hear. Is anybody out there annoyed with my voice yet? I did say last week in class, I was like, you guys, I listened to a video, like a quick snippet of class. I was like, how do you guys listen to me for 50 minutes? Just babbling about nonsense, cheering, shout, like what? You really have to love your fitness instructor because it makes or breaks it. When they are on the microphone, it's so loud. It's like,
yeah, no, I've had instructors where they have very intense voices and then they choose to scream on the microphone. So it's like, oh God, awful.
Do they sing on the microphone?
No, see,
that's my hardest thing.
Is more calm than fitness. Okay. So like no one's really, I mean, I did have one, she left the studio to another one. But
is that your favorite one that you miss?
Yeah. Aww. She used to like sing or, really get into the playlist and stuff like that. But,
yeah. That's fun.
Yeah.
Have you given your high yet?
Yeah, I gave my
high about your sweet nephew.
I didn't do my.
Well, I feel like your high could be the Pure Barre thing.
Oh yeah,
your word is consistency.
It is consistency, but I did that. Proud. But that was for 2024.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for the challenge this year. It was the same thing, but you had to do 12 classes.
Well, you would have nailed it.
Yeah, it got to a point last year where my back was in so much pain, and I was supposed to stop working out. And I was like, I'm so, and this happened in like, I think September or October. And I was like, I'm so close to this challenge. And Jay's like, are you really willing to mess up your back to like get a pair of socks, basically?
Because you had to do 15 classes every month.
Yeah. So I was like, it kind of makes you psychotic. Like, again, it's not about the socks. It's just about determining if I can do it or not. So there's a new challenge starting in March. You have to do 20 classes in 31 days. So I figured that's good.
Oh my God.
And in 2 more classes, I'll hit 500 classes.
I promise you that if you had gone to her and said, I am so interested in this challenge, but I, threw my back out.
No, because she was awesome the year before because I did the black bar challenge. I think that was 12 in a year. Mm-hmm. And I got vertigo. And I was out pretty much all of September or October. So she's like, if you can make them up between the two months, you win. So I don't want to do that again 2 years in a row because she's going to think I'm a psychopath.
Well, she's going to be like, yeah, you're getting older. This checks. Sure. I have to do this for all my clients now who are nearing 40. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's our future, folks. I'm what am I, 38? So I'm getting there.
Wait, you're going to be 38?
I am 38. I'm going to be 39.
39. Okay. Yeah. I was trying to do the math the other day because you, Dominique, and Michelle all turn the same age.
It'll be next year. We all turn 40.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm July, Michelle's
August,
and Dominique's September.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam.
That's crazy.
We should go somewhere before, like in the summer when school starts. Or should we wait when it's, I know you like to go away when it's cold out.
Yeah, I'm game for whatever.
All right.
Yeah. It depends where I am financially. If I have money, I'll go wherever, whenever. If I need, a few months of commission checks, then I'll need to postpone it.
Exactly. No, I hear that.
But yeah, that's my low. And it's so, I think for people who really know me, it's off brand, my low.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to like this. I have been doing the shoulda, woulda, coulda almost.
Ooh.
Like I'm thinking about something that happened
Mhm.
in the past and
Mhm.
being like, why didn't I do it this way? Why did I do that? Why did I do that?
Mm.
And I feel like I've come so far in life that I've not done that in a very long time. So now the last week and a half, I've just been thinking about all these things
Wow.
and second guessing it and be like, why? Why if I only would have done that? And you know what, guys? Don't do that. It makes you fucking crazy.
Totally.
Because you get inside your head and it's not even major things. It's silly little minor things. And then you're thinking of these minor things and it's leading to like more, oh my God, then that, then that, and then that, and then that.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that was a domino waterfall effect of all these shoulda, woulda, couldas. And I'm like, I cannot believe I let myself get here. How did I get here? Especially after such an amazing week last week, doing a fundraiser, raising money,
Mm.
raising awareness. You should be riding that wave and just applauding yourself for the little things. And now here I am shaming myself for little silly things.
Oh, bummer. No, I hate that for you. That's such a hard roller coaster slope, whatever you want to call it. It's so hard to get off that.
Yeah.
And that really stinks. I'm sorry. Sometimes when I think about that, I do this thing now where if my anxiety is going and I'm just like bam, 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 and it won't stop. And like you said, one thing leads to the next because then this wasn't good enough. And then you go to the next thing and then you weren't good enough here. And then it spiraled. And all of a sudden, I did that the other day where I'm sitting there. I think I like had woken up in the middle of the night and then I'm just sitting there thinking. And all of a sudden, I like kind of checked myself and I was like, whoa, I'm sitting here thinking about and like bringing to the forefront of my brain every single thing that I've messed up lately. And I'm just like, why am I doing that? Why am I trying to punish myself? Do I deserve it? No.
Yeah, it's like every once in a while our body's like, okay, torture yourself for a little bit and see how much you guys can take of punching yourself in the face before you say, okay, let's grow up, stand up, let's get over it.
Right.
Yeah. So
That really stinks. So are you still like in it? You're still feeling that way or how did you get out of it? How did you
no, I
crawl?
was still kind of there this morning and I don't know if it was
Mm.
the gloominess of today. I don't know if it was the music I was listening to that usually gets me going, kind of just like made me tune out, check out.
Was it Pitbull music? What gets you
No,
going? What was it?
I've been going back
Gwen
and forth.
Stefani?
No, I probably should have put on some old school like rap or like
Yeah.
dance music. No, I was just like listening to country. Country reminds me of summertime and
Yeah.
festivals and live music. And yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I think it was just where my brain was at. So hopefully this is just like a little minor setback. Maybe because I haven't been doing so good with my vitamins. Maybe that's a thing.
You have been or have
No,
not?
have
You have
not.
not. Oh, what a struggle, man. No, the vitamin thing is hard. Yeah, you'll get back.
Yeah. So then I'm thinking maybe I do need to take more of initiative and maybe journaling or even just really physically writing down my highs and lows of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe when you're in a funk, don't concentrate on any of the lows. Just
Mm-hmm.
try to find your high or the one good thing that happened to you that day
Totally.
to help, spin it out, get it out of your system.
Yeah, I heard once that there was this research done, and when you are worried about something, the part of your brain that it takes you to focus on the worries in these instances where everything just kind of spirals, if you start thinking about what you're grateful for, it takes that same part of your brain to be grateful. So you scientifically cannot be worried and grateful at the same time.
Oh.
And listen, whether or not it's true, placebo effect, I
Okay.
heard that and I was like, okay, cool. So anytime that I'm struggling with something, I'm just going to start thinking of the things that I'm grateful for and just really force yourself to get back on track. Like even just visualize you going off course and then say, no, I'm not choosing that. I'm going to get myself and take this one step, whether it's calling a friend for the 8 to 12 minutes, like we've talked about, that can change the day for you and kind of turn things around, whether it's a good song, whether it's journaling, having a dance party, whatever it is, visualize it and make it happen because you can't just turn it around by sitting there being like, well, I hope my day turns around. No,
Right.
are you going to turn it around? I mean, I'm talking to myself too. Like, am I going to turn it around, or am I just going to, meh, we'll see what happens?
Right. Yeah.
It's hard. It's such a struggle.
It's action. Just like with everything, you can talk a big game, but until you put those words into action, they're just words. I know I'll bounce out of it. Maybe just because like the last couple of days were so nice too, and not like today's gloomy. So maybe that doesn't help either. It really just makes it feel like it's all like setting in.
Well, it's funny because you yourself said you would think that you'd still be riding the high of all the good things that you did last week. But it's very real, the social hangover, the emotional hangover, the build up to any big event, and then the letdown, whether it's a wedding or your birthday or a fundraiser event that you're hosting.
That wedding was the first thing that came to mind when you said that, because I feel like so many people look forward to it. Like, it reminds me of the Friends episode after Monica gets married and then she's like, I'm not married anymore. Or
I'm not,
she's not a bride, I'm a wife, and now all the fun's done.
Totally. It's very hard to and I think that, so I knew that was going to happen because I had friends who had already gotten married and they were like, just be careful because the post-wedding blues, it's the buildup. And that even before a vacation, the buildup, I want to pause that feeling when you're excited about something. But
if we could jar that up and sell it.
I know.
Millionaires.
For sure. Absolutely. Because, that feeling is so good. So allow yourself to acknowledge what's going to happen after, and that, no, you're not supposed to be riding this high because you're going to come down, and that's okay. And then just be mindful so that you know what to do to pull yourself out of that a little bit.
Yeah, that's like what I tell my husband all the time when he talks about retirement and retiring in like beautiful weather. And I was like, yeah, that's great, right? But then don't you think you'd just get sick of it? You take advantage of it. If you have something every single day, you don't have time to appreciate it because it's always there. Well, the people that vacation, once a month, that's great. That's amazing. Awesome. Good for you. But like that doesn't get old.
Well, how I know it gets old? Because I look at people that travel for work. And I think that's the coolest thing. Like, I used to want to be, I think I've said, a masseuse on a cruise line because I was like, I could just travel. But when you have to do it, you have to do it. And I think that we've talked about this, being a Costco sampler. When you have to do your job, you don't like it. When you have to do anything, it gets old. You don't like it. Oh, I'm here again. Big whoop. Oh, I'm, palm trees again. Big whoop. But I think that's in anything, it's your mindset on it to shift it. Because when you only get things once in a while, it's so easy to be grateful for it.
Right.
But I think I heard once, and I love it, the thought that, what if at the end of this week, the only things that you had left in your life and in your world were things that you had said a prayer of thanks for or had a moment of gratitude for? So throughout your weeks, are you looking at your kids that you see every single day, or the food in your fridge, or the warm house, or your awesome car? Have you been grateful for it? And what would your life look like if at the end of the week you sat on Sunday and were like, looked around? Would your husband be there?
Everything would be very empty, very lonely, be very cold and hungry.
And here's the problem, because you shared this on Instagram, but I've loved it even before you shared it. We are not feeling successful because we keep raising the bar. So if we could just look back, and I mean, it's hard to do, but that practice that's trending right now, that, oh, I met my younger self for coffee. If you could go back to your younger self, what would your younger self, even, 2 months ago, a month ago, 2 weeks ago, looking at you now, would they look and say like, wow, this is great. Look at all these things you have. But like, you're so like dead set on growing more, which is beautiful. We don't ever want to stop that track that we're on. But if we could just slow it down for a little bit to remind ourselves that we're freaking awesome and we're doing a good job and we don't need to just rush to the next thing. And the way that you did it was exactly how it was supposed to be. And you couldn't have done it any better. And you couldn't have fixed it any more than you tried. Like the coulda, woulda, shouldas, just kind of like let them be. Then just remind yourself to just be super grateful in the moment. Think of the things you have.
That's perfect. It is. Yeah. Maybe that's what I need. I'm out of the funk. Ooh. Oh, well, I think that is perfect. Thank you. See, sometimes you just need to talk it through with a friend and they need to kick you in the butt, whether it's physically or with their words. So,
Well, really, it's funny because they were your words that you were sharing,
but sometimes you need to remind somebody of that,
Totally.
right?
Totally. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, guys, thanks for listening once again. We love you. We love you showing up every week with us, and we're going to keep being us. So you can keep being you. Bye.
Bye.